Hi everybody. In today's episode of Ask David, I answer the question, how do I know if my film camera is taking a properly exposed picture? Hey David, how do I know if my film camera is taking properly exposed pictures? Well, I have this back catalog. Just kidding. Now, in all seriousness, it depends on your camera. But in general, what you need to do is get the settings to tell you that you have a properly exposed image. So let's see what that looks like. There are a few different types of meters that you can see. We have ones, let's say that this is your viewfinder, okay? We have ones that look like needles, and the needles will stick out. Sometimes there'll be some kind of marking here, or this was the wrong way, that's upside down, or it's the wrong. You might see a plus and a minus, or you might have two needles, one that looks like this with the opening in the center. Basically, with any type of needle-based light meter, you're trying to match the needle. There's this in like a K1000 or other single needle meter readouts is a properly exposed image. With an SRT 101 or 102, for instance, where you have the circular second needle, when this lines up, both needles are lined up like this, you have a properly exposed image. Now, with the SRT series or other meters that have a circle like this, what this circle tells you is your one-stop range. So if you have your needle set to look like this, that means you're off by one stop. Likewise, if it's above, you're overexposed by one stop or vice versa. It depends on your camera. The K1000 and a lot of other single needle systems look kind of like this. What this tells you is that if your needle is touching down here, you're one stop underexposed, one stop overexposed, properly exposed. So that's how you read that type of meter reading. There's some others though. The general point of all of your meters is to tell you when you're properly exposed. Some of them have LEDs, for instance. Either there'll be a row of LEDs like this, and they'll transition into green at some point, typically, or a shorter row or whatever. Sometimes you'll have your shutter speed indicated next to them. Other times you'll have LEDs that look like this. And the whole point, everything that your meter layout is trying to tell you is when you're properly exposed. So if your green dot up here next to 1/500th lights up, that tells you you're properly exposed at 1/500th. If on your Nikon FM2, for instance, the circle is lit up but not the plus or minus, you're properly exposed. To understand how your meter works, just refer to your manual. They're all very clear on how the meter works. And once you know how to read your meter's data, then you'll know that you're getting a proper exposure. But let's say you want to verify that it's working properly really quickly just to get a rough idea. So the best thing to do to verify your light meter's functionality is just to go outside on a sunny day, find an object in full sun. A tree works really well, hedges work well, because the green color in them is approximately the same tone as the gray that your light meter is looking for. Set your aperture to f16 and your shutter speed to your film ISO. So if you have 100 ISO film in there, f16 and 1/125th, 400 ISO, 1/500th. That's close enough. And your meter reading should be properly exposed or pretty close to it. If you're way off one way or the other, there might be some underlying issue with your meter at that point. If you're within a stop, you're probably going to be A-okay.